First of all, I'd like to just to get some clarity, a disclosure. Do you have any exposure to FTX, Alameda, or its counterparties?
As I've already mentioned, there is absolutely zero exposure to FTX. So we don't play and even touch customer funds. Luna, 3AC, FTX, zero exposure to all of that.
All right, so let's get to the nub of the issue here. There's big damage done to cryptocurrencies and crypto exchanges. How do they come back from this?
Yeah, so it's a tough time for the industry overall. I've been talking to a lot of community members, and they are also quite shocked by what happened over the last 1 week. I think it's going to take some more time. It has definitely shaken customer confidence, but the industry will rise stronger. I think it's the good thing that's going to happen out of this is it is going to remove the noise from the signal. A lot of bad actors, there are a lot of tokens which are just like being used for speculative purposes. All of that should go away. Exchanges which are not there for long term should not operate. And also from a regulatory point of view, I feel that government should step up and set a very high standard for operations for crypto companies so that customer funds are absolutely protected.
We talk about how we want perhaps coordinated approach to regulation, standardization, Sumit, but the truth of the matter is that regulators can't even agree on how to define cryptocurrencies. How do you get to regulations then?
Yeah, that's an important question you've highlighted, because in India, the everything is put under VDA, whether it is NFTs, or fungible, non-fungible, all kind of tokens. I think that is where I personally am a strong advocate of, like in India, we call it public-private partnership, where government works with the crypto companies and helps in setting up the right standards, define things the right way so that the industry can, gradually grow without all of these. Because one downside of regulations is that innovation can hinder, right? So how do you continue to innovate and how do you continue to regulate is something which is quite important. And one of the smartest way to achieve that is by industry players work very closely with the government and the policymakers to set those standards, right from the definition to how every crypto business, in the country should operate. I think in India, none of the exchanges is affected by FTX, but we feel that Indian exchanges should set that high bar for themselves and be very strong in all of these processes, even though the regulations are not there. So we are already kind of self-regulated, and then we'll continue to set that standard.
What's also important, Sumit, is proof of reserves. Increasingly, users are wanting that. Are you headed that way?
Yeah, so I have actually tweeted about it yesterday, where I have taken one more side of it. So proof of reserve is something that many people are advocating about. But I think one critical aspect is missing, which is also the proof of liabilities. How much liabilities and contingencies you have in exchange, how much you owe to the users, all of that, both looking in tandem is actually very important. So proof of reserves in conjunction with proof of liabilities is what will give you the actual picture.
Okay, but just having a look at what's going on in this space, we had so many of these companies perhaps go to the wall, if you will. I mean, auditing is one thing. How do you provide transparency as to what you do? And is it above and beyond what the authorities have actually asked you?
Yeah, absolutely. Very, very important question. And first of all, I just want to highlight that in India, crypto is still unregulated. There are tax guidelines, but there are no regulations and guidelines around how a crypto exchange should operate. So what we have done over and top of, the basic KYC and AML norms. So every customer on our platform goes through a standard KYC process, which traditional, big institutions and brokers go through. So all of that process is replicated as it is. In our company, in CoinDCX, we behave and we have all the processes. We, every process is like how a regulated entity operates. So we treat that we are, a regulated entity already, and that's how we sort of have designed all the processes, which is one thing that is difficult, but we have taken step and step ahead and doing that already. In terms of transparency, what you just mentioned, we have openly disclosed what liabilities we have, what assets we have, and right now the team is figuring out a way on how we can make it transparent in real time, so that any customer can come on the platform and see how much reserves we have, what are the liabilities, and are we in a strong position financially. So I think steps like those gives a lot of boost to the customer confidence. Plus, also one very important thing is being open and communicate to the community, communicate to the customer is also
Right.
quite important in these tough times.